If you've been running Google Ads for your service-based business, I'm sure that this scenario of dealing with price shopper leads is very common. You get phone calls from people asking for quotes and they're not ready to move forward because they're shopping around with your other competitors. They're comparing the prices and then therefore they're taking a really long time to make a decision. Now, in this video, I'm going to be talking about what you can do to avoid price shopper leads. I'm going to talk about 5 different tactics that I've put into place in order to help mitigate the number of price shopper leads coming from ads. So if that sounds interesting, please stick around. And just wanted to quickly introduce myself. My name is Michelle Kopp. I'm the founder of Level 28 Media, and I help service-based local businesses generate leads through Google Ads, whether you're looking for phone calls or form submissions on your website or landing page. I am definitely someone that can certainly help you. So if you're interested in an audit or a long-term management, feel free to reach out in the description below and I will be happy to have a conversation with you. Now let's go ahead and dive into ways that you can avoid price shopper leads. And before I do that, I wanted to just quickly share this image showing a woman at the grocery store. So she's standing in front of all the milk and there's quite a bit of options here. And this is what your leads would be dealing with too. As they're searching on Google, if you're in a very competitive industry, this is what they're going to be seeing. After they search for the service that you're providing, they're going to see a slew of competitors. And if you have done a really good job in running your ads, you're going to be front and center. They're going to see you. They're going to click on your ad. And then what they're going to do next is they're going to call you. But here's the thing. Because there's so many competitors, and if they're not brand loyal to you, which most likely they're not because they haven't heard of your brand before because they're searching for the service that you're offering. Therefore, you are in an even playing field with a bunch of other competitors serving on the same keywords, on this looking to capture people looking for that same service. Now, what can you do to capture these people and get them in the door? That could be another video in itself. But what can we do to avoid price shopper leads? That's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. But before I take you through the first one, I just want to say that it's going to happen. You will be getting price shopper leads no matter what you do. Even if you employ these 5 different tactics, it's going to happen. There's no real way to avoid it. People that are searching on Google are ingrained to be looking for the most affordable price. Especially as we're shopping and we are not familiar with brands, especially if you haven't positioned yourself to be a high-end brand that people are very well aware of. It's very, very, very common, and it's also to be expected that people will be shopping. So there's no real way to fully avoid it, but here are some ways that we can go about trying to mitigate it. And the first method is to use negative keywords. So some keywords that you might want to put in place, negative keywords I'm referring to in particular, are keywords like cheap, affordable, lowest price. So these types of keywords indicate that the person is looking for the lowest price. Now, if someone doesn't search with those specific terms in their search query, that could still they could still be looking for the cheapest price, but when they explicitly say affordable, cheap, a lot of these keywords that indicate that they're looking for the lowest price, therefore putting these negative keywords in place is going to help you try to avoid these types of searches and that type of intent. So keep that in mind. So if you are trying to avoid these price shoppers, then try to avoid keywords that indicate that someone's looking for the lowest price. Now, let's move on to the second way to avoid price shoppers. And this is to pre-qualify with pricing on your landing page. Now, this one's a little bit tricky because sometimes people don't actually read your landing page. They'll just call directly, or they'll just go to the landing page and they'll skim through it, but they won't actually see the pricing. You want to put the pricing up front and center at the very top in the hero section. That should certainly help. But a lot of service-based businesses that want to avoid price shoppers who will put the pricing on their landing page. Now, this is kind of going to be a tug of war between lead quality and lead quantity. So you have to realize that if you're going to put the pricing on your website, then therefore you're probably going to be getting less quantity of leads, but better quality for the most part. So this is just a way that you can go about trying to mitigate and avoid price shoppers that might be coming through. Now, another way that you can avoid price shoppers from the get-go, even before they click on your ad, is to have price extensions. Now, this is an example I found from revolve.com, and essentially in the actual ad itself, it will have the pricing. So before the user even clicks on your ad, they'll be able to see the pricing before they even go to your website. So that will be helpful. So that's that with price extensions. Next is putting the starting price point in your ads. So marketing starts at $800 a month. At least you're telling people ahead of time how much it's going to cost at the minimum. So if someone cannot stomach the fact that your pricing is $800 a month, they won't even click, they won't even bother. Just realize that this could also impact your click-through rate, but you shouldn't be worried about your click-through rate being lower, because then you're just not wasting money on people that won't be able to afford your services. So that's the fourth suggestion, is putting your pricing in your ads starting at whatever. And the final way to go about avoiding price shoppers in general is, if you know that there are specific areas where people tend to be more price sensitive, then you can certainly go about targeting these higher income zip codes or specific areas where you know your ideal clients would be searching from. I'm not necessarily saying that it has to be high income, but because I've seen higher household income areas not perform as well because they tend to be a little bit more stingy. But I guess it just depends on the specific service, right? Like if you have some like high-end service that you provide, and you only want to be serving higher-end household clientele, then you wouldn't want to be targeting outside of those areas, and you really want to be focusing your budget on the clientele that would be able to afford your services. So that would be the final suggestion that I have in order to avoid price shoppers. So that's pretty much it in terms of this video. Please let me know if you're going to try any of these out in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts in terms of how you are thinking about avoiding price shoppers in general. What has your experience been? And let me know if you found this video helpful. I would love it if you can give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to this channel. I post videos about Google Ads lead generation every week on this channel, and would love for you to join me in the next one. Thank you.